friends. In today's video, we are in my car. I need to go run an errand, but I wanted to start this video. It's kind of a combo video. So I want to just kind of chat with you guys. We have some life updates happening. I have a little bit of a Q&A. I asked over on my Instagram if anybody had any questions for me, and some of the questions have to do with some life updates and announcements that I wanted to share with you guys. Anyways, so on my Instagram, I put a little question box and I asked if anybody had any questions about like diabetes, military life, sourdough, like literally anything. And one of the questions that I got was, how often do you guys move in the military? So this sort of depends on what branch you're affiliated with and also like what your job is. But for us, we move every 2 to 3 years depending. We've been in our current station right now for 3 years, but we are moving. And not only are we moving, Sam is getting out of the military. So we are moving next month to the Northeast. We're moving to New Jersey. So we're moving to the state of New Jersey. We're very excited. So as far as the military, it's usually every 2 or 3 years. Another question that I was asked was, how did you and Sam meet? So Sam and I met in college, but we went to different colleges. So Sam and I dated all through college. I was a freshman when we met. He was a sophomore. I don't have a good mount for my camera in my car, so sorry if you're like shaking and sliding and all that kind of stuff. I'll have to see what this footage is like and hopefully it's okay. What was I saying? Oh, Sam and I dated all through college, long distance. So we were long distance until we were married. Our schools were about an hour to an hour and a half away from each other, and then when we were both at home, my home in Rhode Island and his home in Massachusetts, we were also like an hour and a half away. So when we got married in 2018, that was the first time we were ever not long distance. First time living together, and I literally graduated college, got married, and moved across the country all within like a month of each other. So I guess we've moved, like really moved states twice together, but each place we've been, when we were stationed in California, we moved houses once, and then when we moved from California to North Carolina, we then moved in North Carolina once. So that was the same station, we just moved houses. All of that to say, long-winded. This is gonna be a chatty video, I just have a feeling. Another question I was asked was, what are your best packing and moving tips? And one of my best packing and moving tips would be to go through everything you have and donate a lot of it. So, as you can see, maybe in the back of my car, I have got a trunk full of donations because we are downsizing. Also, we just don't need, we just didn't need a lot of stuff. We just decluttered a bunch of stuff. We sold our dining chairs. We sold our guest bed because we're moving into a smaller apartment that doesn't have a guest room. Yeah, we sold a lot of stuff. So that is my errand that I need to run today. I need to go donate all of this stuff and drop it in the drop-off area. I can't go inside because I forgot a mask, and I'm sad about it because I wanted to go inside and poke around. So yeah, that's my number one biggest moving tip. Also, start if you can. See, we knew that we were moving, truthfully, we knew we were moving like years ago. We just didn't know like the exact day or month or whatever, but we've known exactly when we were moving for like a whole year now. So we've kind of been able to prepare mentally, but also prepare, like, stretch out the moving process. So I did one big declutter like last spring, I did one over this past summer, and we just did another one this like fall winter. So I've done a few trips to the thrift store to donate, and I think that would be my biggest tip, is just like get rid of stuff. I think that's all I have to say for right now. I'm gonna go drop off my donations. Okay, home now. Going to make some breakfast. Have some sourdough toast and some eggs probably, but that leads me to another question. Somebody asked me, can you send me bread? Just straight up, can you send me bread? And this is something that I definitely need to figure out how to do. Also, honestly, just for like personal like friends, like how fun would it be to send somebody a loaf of bread? I need to nail down and like research how to send it without it going bad or stale or weird in the mail. But so I guess the answer to that question would be like, I'm working on it. Also, I would love to figure out how to send starter to people, because I have read that you can dry your starter and then send it to somebody and they can like rehydrate it, and that works. Because I feel like if I were to send my starter like in its liquid state, that would be really messy, and like there's a possibility that I could explode, and then that would be bad. But yeah, I'm gonna look into that too. So we'll circle back to that one, and I will let you know if ever there is a time where I can send you some starter. Another question somebody asked was, what kind of dog is Rudy? So this is my dog Rudy. I'm not sure how this will go or how long he'll stay with us, but we don't know, short answer. I thought I would tell you a little bit about Rudy and how we got him. So as I said earlier, when Sam and I first got married, we were living in California. Well, we've always wanted a dog, and we thought that we were gonna get a bigger dog than this little guy. And I wasn't working when we were living in California because we were there for such a short period of time. And also where we were living, there was like no industry, I guess you could say. If anybody knows or is affiliated with the Marine Corps in any way, shape, or form, we were living in 29 Palms, which is in the desert in California near Joshua Tree National Park. And there's like really nothing there. From the base that we were at to the closest Walmart was about 40 minutes, if that gives you any indication about how much nothingness there was there. But yeah, we always wanted a dog, so I started volunteering at the animal shelters in the area, and just visiting, kind of loving on the animals a little bit. But one weekend we were on a camping trip up to Big Bear, which was about an hour or two, I don't really remember exactly, away from where we were living. And we drove by the Big Bear animal shelter, and I said, Sam, like, let's go in, you know, love on the animals a little bit, which was not out of the ordinary for me. So I wasn't like trying to pull a fast one or anything. But we walked in, and little Rudy dude was sitting in there, and fully walked in there, did not intend on adopting a dog that day. But I took one look at Rudy and I said, Sam, that's my dog. So we're gonna have to make it work. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Rudy is, I think he was a stray. We don't have a ton of information about where he came from, but I believe he was a stray based on how he walked on a leash, which was not very well at first, and he was just kind of skittish of a lot of different things. He's come a long way. We think, our best guess is that he's a long-haired Chihuahua, maybe mixed with Dachshund or Papillon, because he's got these really great fluffy ears. my little buddy. This year in August, we will have had Rudy for 4 years, which is so crazy to think about. When we first got him, they told us he was around 1 year old. I think he was actually closer to like 6 months old. I think he was a puppy still, just because of how different he looks now. I'll probably have been including some pictures in here, but he was so tiny when when we first got him. His face was like a different color. He's gotten a lot more white since we've gotten him. He's also gotten a lot fluffier since he's been with us, but yeah, he's just my little buddy, and we are very lucky to have him. Can you see me? I don't have a good place to put you in my car. We're in my car again. I am getting a COVID test because tomorrow we are headed up to New Jersey to sign for our apartment, and I also have an interview and a tour of a potential employment opportunity. So I wanted to get a test to make sure that I don't have COVID before we go up there, obviously. It is in fact many days later. Today is Tuesday? Today's Wednesday? Today's Wednesday, and the last time I filmed was Friday, I think. My camera died when I was, like, right after I was filming with Rudy, so I thought I would just pick it up while I'm waiting to get my test, and answer some more questions. So another question that I got was, when did you start making sourdough? So I started making sourdough, actually I can probably tell you exactly. I believe it was June of 2020. Like, a lot of people picked up sourdough baking in 2020 because it was at like the tail end of our lockdown. Sorry, I keep looking around. I'm just, the nurse like comes out from over there, so I want to make sure that she doesn't see me filming because that would be embarrassing. Okay, so I don't know for sure if this was my very first bread. I don't think it was, but the first picture that I'm seeing off the bat is in April. So I think it was April of 2020, and I think I've told this story before, but my friend Katie, who also makes sourdough, gifted me some of her starter just to try it out, and I loved it. I was actually just sending a message to Liv this morning saying I wish I had taken up sourdough baking in college, because I feel like that would have been such a fun hobby to have in college, and kind of a good way to decompress after a class or like a big study session or what have you. But yeah, so I started making sourdough almost 2 years ago, which is kind of crazy to think about. Another question that was asked was actually asked by my sister, and I put this Q&A on my Instagram like before Christmas, so some of these questions aren't as timely as the other ones, but my sister asked me, should I get the silver water filter thing that you have? And she's referring to my Berkey. And if anybody is wondering if they should get a Berkey, if it's in your budget, the answer is yes. I am obsessed with our Berkey. I really love having it because our water isn't great, like, in the area that we live in, but also it's just so convenient because, like, the material it's made out of, I believe it's made out of aluminum. I could be wrong about that, but it keeps the water cold without refrigeration. So, like, just the material that it's made out of, it doesn't really matter what temperature water you put in it. For some reason, the water stays cold in the Berkey, like even during the summer and everything. It's not like ice cold, but it's like a hair colder than room temperature. It's just really satisfying and good. And the last question that I will answer, and I'm leaving it for last because I was kind of avoiding it because I didn't really know what to say about it. Somebody asked me what's my favorite thing about, like, military life, and I don't really have a great answer for this because I don't know that I have like a favorite thing about military life. I mean, getting to travel or like see new places that I wouldn't normally, I probably would never live here for 2 years, and I probably wouldn't have ever gone to California and lived there for 6 months, but the culture and, how do I say this? It's just not, it's not what we want to do anymore, which is great that we're able to get out when we are. So my favorite part would be the friendships that I've made, and also like the fact that I was able to, and we were afforded to see new places that we wouldn't normally see. But we are definitely very excited to not be affiliated with the military anymore. So that's all the questions that I have for today. I'm gonna continue to wait for my COVID test. And yeah, if anybody's still watching this, cross your fingers for me, because I'm really hoping that my interview and tour goes well on Friday. I'm really nervous about it, to be honest. So if anybody out there is still watching and could send me some good vibes, that would be very, very, very appreciated.